Welcome to Under the Winged Helmet. I'm Kyle Simmons. My co-host, Thomas Guynes, former Michigan offensive lineman, and a host of the ASAP Elite podcast, Rob Penn. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good.
All I know is this. It's getting super close to that game in Ann Arbor where little brother come to town talking noise. And all I know is this. The woodshed is open for shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
The buzzsaw action.
Yeah, it's time to lay some wood. Definitely time to lay some wood.
As you just said, little brother's coming to town this Saturday. They have a 3-4 overall record, 1-3 in a Big Ten. Man, not a good year for them, but you know, I don't feel bad for them. So, but Tuck is 2-0 right now against us. So, like we were saying earlier, we were talking before we started. Rivalry games aren't easy. This isn't going to be an easy game. So we're going to let the big man lead the way on this one. All right, 7-5. What do you think?
Like I said, every year, especially with Tuck at the helm, Tuck is the X factor here in this game. I don't really feel like it's going to be the players. The one thing, even though they're having a quote unquote down year, the one thing that I do notice with the Sparties is that they take on the personality of their coach, and just the rivalry of this game, the state bragging rights, Paul Bunyan, all of the different factors that are going to come into play. And when, you know, these guys come in with the personality of their coach, who's a guy like when you watch Tuck on the sidelines, you see it all over his face. Like he's into it. He's trying to get after it. And I think his level of motivation, what he's bringing to his guys this week in preparation for this game, both teams having a bye week. So there's been, you know, enough time for the level of preparation. And I'm just really excited to see what's going to be brought to the table at this point, because at the end of the day, like I said, records don't mean a thing. It's about bragging rights and who's going to blink first. And I'm hoping, you know, I take that back. I know Coach Harbaugh and the rest of the crew got the boys already fired up, already keyed up, already teed up. And again, what better way for us to continue to move this season along than to avenge that loss from last year that would have made a relatively perfect season for us, bring Paul Bunyan back to the hallowed halls of Schembechler Hall, and continue our march as we continue to get through this Big Ten schedule, getting ready for that last game in November. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
And Rob, what are you looking forward to this week with this game?
Well, let's see. You know, we're going to have a good matchup as usual. They're going to come into play. Ultimately, we're going to hit them for, 250 plus rushing yards. But the thing is, Michigan State, they don't have a Corley out there on that island. You get what I'm saying? And they definitely don't have a Kenneth Walker running this year. That was a big deal last year. As you can say, Kenneth Walker was the X factor. It wasn't Mel. It was Kenneth Walker. You can see what he's doing in the NFL right now. Fantasy stud. You get what I'm saying? So let's just understand that they don't have that depth last year. But if we were able to run through Penn State the way we were the week before, we'll be able to really exploit that defensive line and those linebackers. They just won a couple of weeks, their last game in double overtime against Big Wisconsin. So they're coming off a victory also. So they're feeling good about themselves. And plus they have that momentum on their side for the last two games, like you said. But this is a different team. We understand Harbaugh's system. This O-line has been here for a while without the exception of our center, who was All-American this year again. You know what I'm saying? And that defense is spectacular. You know what I'm saying? This is the Alabama statistical defense. Statistical is the key word. But yeah, I think that we're gonna come out, we're gonna bust them in the mouth, we're gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, I was like, I agree with Rob on this one. I think it's going to be a tough game, a very, very tough game through like the first quarter, first and second quarter. I think it's going to be a lot of emotion, a lot of, they're going to be fired up, ready to go. But I think as we get closing out the second quarter and then going into the second half, I think that's where Michigan's going to kind of blow it wide open on this one.
Hey, typical Michigan strategy, game plan. You get what I'm saying? When you're running on people, it's basically body shot, and then they drop their hands, and then you go for the blow. Like I said, I keep using these boxing analogies, but that's how it is when you run a ball against people. That 3 yards in the cloud of dust is real. You get what I'm saying? I know.
The only thing in which I'm looking at, and I completely agree with you, Rob, but the only thing which I'm looking at right now is going to be, again, I think it's going to be a coaching aspect of things. It's going to be adjustments at halftime, us making the proper adjustments and being able to play that chess match going into the second half. As Kyle said, I think it's probably going to go back and forth. It may be a little bit boring in that first half.
Right.
Again, it may be that 3 yards in a cloud of dust on both sides of the ball. I'm not really that impressed with Sparty's defense this year. When I watched them play their last game, I wasn't, they bring some twists, and I think that's going to be the one key aspect of the game I'm interested to look at, or one of the key aspects is our offensive line's ability to pick up the stunts, because they seem to be a little bit active up front, but not necessarily. I'm not seeing any great one-on-one pass rushers that I really feel like, hey, we got a key on this particular guy, or let's keep a tight end in, or let's keep a back end to chip and help out. I think as long as we're able to pick up the movement up front, we're going to be solid. But at the same point in time, it's going to be the adjustments going into halftime. Who's going to come out? Who's going to play the better chess match? Because this is definitely going to be chess, not checkers. It's going to start off like marbles. We're just going to be banging into each other, playing off of that emotion, playing off the rivalry aspect of things. Once the game begins to calm down and we get into a sense of normalcy within the game of football, then we're really going to see who came to play.
Hey, look. So, like I said, they're going to come out in that 4-3. Then, like I said, they're going to take all these body shots. Then they're going to drop that safety, that ace man in the box. And that's what we turn into the air show. Checkmate.
Hey, I'm all for it, as long as JJ is able to show some touch. And the other caveat of this as well is let's win special teams. Special teams is going to be big. Make the field goals when we need to make the field goals. But the other aspect too is we cannot be anemic in the red zone. We have to continue to try to get 6 instead of 3. And when we get down there, let's start punching it in. Let's not get overly cute. I get it that everything gets a little bit more condensed once you get down in the red zone. But once we get that, we have to find a way to get into the end zone. I don't necessarily feel like we need to bring out a whole bunch of gadgets and stuff, gadget plays, because when we have, they've been tackles for losses. But let's continue to stick with our date that we brought to the dance. Punch him in the mouth, hand it off to the back. Let's get it in for 6.
Now, I want to bring up something that Rob was saying. I think last week or maybe the week before, we haven't really been using those outside threats that we have. And Rob was saying on the goal line, you got to bring in that jumbo package, but keep Ronnie Bell out there by himself and use him, on a one-on-one situation. I think that'll be something we might have to bring out this week, because I think if we try to run it, we're going to kind of play into what they want us to do. They kind of want this to be a slow, low-scoring, grinding type game. So I think we're going to have to throw the ball a bit here. And I think on the goal line, Ronnie Bell on the outside one-on-one might be just what Rob was saying is what they might need. So
TG, you make sure you go down to Schembechler Hall. You holler at Mr. Harbaugh, and you tell him what we said. He's going to change his whole approach.
Hey, look, if Jimmy listens to me, then I know something else, okay?
Yeah.
But, hey, I definitely enjoy sitting back and being an old school pundit about the game, how we think things are going to go. But, you bring up a great point. Let's use some of those jump ball situations. Continue to make other teams think. Keep them off balance. What are they going to do now? Us coming in, but this is going to be really incumbent upon us having a level of discipline, switching those packages in and out, making the defensive coordinator second guess himself, call timeouts. Do we have the right personnel per the package in which we're bringing in? And then at the same point in time, us having discipline enough, be still, let's not be jumping off sides and doing what I call drive killers. The big things in which I'm looking for coming up against Little Brother, domination on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage, win the turnover battle, and win special teams. If we do those 3 things, we'll win this game.
Hey, one more thing. Jimmy hasn't been good at the smoke and mirrors, at the underlay for the overplay type scenario. Like I said, one thing we brought up in the very first show, is how he used the bell peppers on that Wildcat. You know what I'm saying? Let the boy throw the rock. You know what I'm saying? He never did. But he's never, ever switched up from that. He's never been that type of person to show you, to do the, what Sugar Ray used to do. You know what I'm saying?
With the
he's never
punch.
been that type of person. If you throw this is coming. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. You know, and that's kind of one of the things which I'm talking about when we start talking about adjustments. It's not about being cute. There's going to be some points in times where, from a mano-a-mano standpoint, hey, this is what we're going to run, and I dare you to stop it. Yep. But I'm only going to do that if I have the personnel against the right defense to do that against, right? Because if I do that, it doesn't. If I don't do that, it doesn't make sense as far as setting it up, right? You have to continue to set up what it is that you want, be able to control the line of scrimmage. Let's make sure that we're also winning field position as well. Because if we're able to have to make Sparty go on those 12, 15 play drives, have to march 80 yards consistently, I don't think they have the horsepower to do that. We have been lucky. Oh, I don't want to say lucky. We have shown a propensity this year, even when we had long drives, we've been doing it in chunk plays, either with huge receptions or the fact that, the running backs are getting 30-yard runs, 57-yard runs. So we haven't been able, we haven't had to do those 3 yards in a cloud of dust 10, 15 times. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be really interesting just to see how this all plays out. Because the rivalry aspect, having played in this game 5 years, only lost once, it's going to be huge. And again, I need for our guys to have that same level of swag that we had back in the 90s, where it was just one of those situations we just expected to win. We weren't necessarily putting forth that extra effort because Sparty was coming up. Because there was a level of expectation that we were going to get the W, regardless. However it played out, we was going to get that W. So, it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be a dope environment. We're playing at night. Ann Arbor's going to be rocking.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we don't have any couches burning on Stadium in Maine. It's questionable, but you know what? We are leaders and best, and we do know how to conduct ourselves. So it's definitely going to be a beautiful time, and I hope everybody has a safe and enjoyable evening.
Oh, it should be a beautiful weekend here in Ann Arbor. I can't wait to see everybody out on Friday night. Usually, Friday night is very big here. Like
it's clutch
before the game.
It's clutch. Everybody's coming in, setting up for the tailgates and stuff.
I don't think that we're going to see no Michigan State Letterman jackets after this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful. Like I said, man, I just want to bring Paul Bunyan home. I know he's homesick. I know he's sick and tired of that agricultural smell out in East Lansing. For those that have been out to East Lansing, it smells like a farm, and not the good side either.
There we go. I wanted to hear. Yeah, there we go. So
fertilizer side.
So I guess we're going to get to the predictions. We'll start with Rob. What do you think? How is it going to turn out?
38-17. Go blue.
38-17. All right. So I'm going to go. I'm pretty much like what I said earlier. I think we're going to go into this game real slow in the first half. And but I still think they'll be up maybe 10 points in the first half. And I think they're going to open this thing up. And I'm pretty much on par with Rob here. I'm going 37-16. I think little brother will find the end zone once and then some field goals. So, Thomas, what do you think on this one?
I'm going 31-21. Obviously us. But like I said, I think there's going to be some points in time in there where they will find their way into the end zone, maybe in that second half. But again, we should continue just to press the gas on these guys and keep it moving.
So, as we were just talking about last week, you were telling us about dancing with their dates, if I recall.
Oh yeah, we had to go dance with their dates. So, again, it's always fun to invite little brother home, the prodigy son, to bring him home and put your arm around him and maybe show him the ropes. And that's what I'm expecting to happen on Saturday. Going to have a great time. It's going to be a great atmosphere. We're going to come out with the dub, and State Street's going to be rocking. Main Street's going to be rocking. For all those that are going to be in Ann Arbor during that time, please get there early, find your parking spot, and don't plan on driving away till Sunday because it's going to be gridlock. It's going to be a bunch of tomfoolery and chicanery, but done in a very classy way. Because why? We are the leaders and best.
Mm-hmm. Go Blue.
Yeah, I the plan was just to let you loose for 15 minutes here and just talk trash. And you said, I'm going to take it easy.
I'm not a trash talking guy. You know, like I said, I'm an offensive lineman. I'm used to the grind. I leave the trash talking to the wide receivers and the DBs and the linebackers and them tight cats. O-line, like I said, my trash talk is when I put you on your back and I look at you and help you up and tell you I'm about to come do it again.
Not me. Talk about crap.
Are you going to be around on Friday night, Thomas? Be around town?
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to be in North Carolina and enjoy some great high school football. I got to go see my nephew play.
Okay.
And I thought the game was actually going to be a noon game, and plan my flight back later to watch the game there. But I'll probably be landing when the game starts, so hopefully I'll get somewhere at least at around halftime to catch the rest of the game. So I'll find one of my favorite watering holes and sit back and have a cold one and enjoy the game in some semblance of civility. But like I said, as long as my Wolverines are winning, wherever I'm going to be at, it's going to be rocking.
And Rob, you're out there in Phoenix. Is there any Michigan bars out there, fan bars out in Phoenix?
Hey, man, I go to Casino Arizona. One Love Casino Arizona. They treat a brother like a king. That's my favorite water hole. You dig what I'm saying? I go there and I win my little money every week. Well, okay, I won once, but that carried me the next season.
Hey, look, watch what you talk about how much you won. You know Uncle Sam be watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, you only won that one time.
That
right?
one time.
Yeah.
And it was like $3.
Right, exactly. It was $3.
Hey, I won.
Yeah, that's it. You won $3 and bought a $6 drink. So
I sure did, but I won.
That's it.
Well, all right. Well, that's it for this week. It's going to be a good game. For Under the Wings helmet, I'm Kyle Simmons, Thomas Guynes, Rob Penn. Also, to be sure to check us out on Believe Network, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. Till next week, go Blue.
Go Blue.
I'll at your boy.